it's me, Kemba Upshaw Howard. I'm the big sis, not the little one.
Hey y'all, it's Denise Nicole Upshaw. And yeah, I'm the little sis, but I've been giving Kimba a run for her money since the 99 and the 2000s. And welcome to On
On
the
the
Up
up
and
and
Up
up.
with the Upshaw Sisters. Today we are building on our conversations from the last
Mhm.
2 weeks where we've talked about fashion and how it impacts your brand. So, whether it's your clothing that you're wearing, how you're styling your hair, what you're putting in your body, it's all of those things. It's all the things, okay? Today, we are gonna do a little bit of chatting about how to look luxe for less. Because I'm a girl on a budget. I'm trying to ball on a budget, and I want to learn all the tips and tricks about balling on a budget.
Me
Kimba,
too.
what about you?
Me too.
Okay, awesome. So today we have a very special guest who's going to teach us all about looking luxe for less. Let me go on and get into this introduction because y'all, we don't have time to wait. So we have London Lawrence, the dynamic life coach, fashion consultant, advocate, and co-founder and strategy director of Mingle and Muse,
Mm.
a creative platform that blends fashion, networking, and cultural connection. With a powerful presence in the realms of personal development, style, and community empowerment, London has been featured in the New York Times, Rolling Stones, okay, for his transformative work in lifestyle consulting and event innovation. He holds a master's degree
Hmm.
in political leadership and public service with a strong background in education, community engagement, and advocacy.
You better work.
Through his coaching programs, workshops, speaking engagements, and Mingle and Muse experiences, he has impacted audiences around the world. In addition, London is a sought after fashion consultant known for helping clients express authenticity through personal style. His eye for aesthetics and deep understanding of identity allow him to support individuals in crafting their image as a reflection of their growth. So, without further ado, let's welcome the man, the legend, Houston's very own fashion savant,
Come on.
London, looking lux for less, Lawrence. Hello.
I love
Ooh. Uh,
Welcome,
wow.
London. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And you know what's better than one Upshaw sister? Two. So thank you guys for
Say
opening up
it.
the doors and elevating and having me on the platform. I'm excited to get into some things with you all. And I gotta say, that introduction is chef's kiss.
Well, we do a little 1-2 around here on the Upshaw Sisters,
Mm.
keeping it on the up and up.
I
Well,
love it.
London, we would be remiss to not start with some kind of a vibe check. You are our
Hmm.
fashion savant. So let's
Yes.
jump in and do a vibe check. We're going to start with you. What are you wearing and what's the vibe? What's it giving?
Yeah, so right now we're in a transitional season between fall and summer. So right now I'm all about oversized, real flowy, real cool type clothes. Homage to the 90s with the bandana, Tupac inspired. One thing that I love above all things are accessories. So a mixture between high and lows, thrifted pieces, which we'll talk about later, and then also a few designer pieces. But then also, a little thrifted shirt that we had cropped, which I'm not gonna show y'all all of that. You gotta pay for that. And then of course like a nice little necklace, okay? But it's just a cool little 90s vibe to kind of mellow it out as I'm kicking it with the sisters. Just kick it, you know what I'm saying? A little was it
Oh,
SWB?
okay,
No, it's
okay.
escape. See, I said the wrong
That's
one.
me. That's
Uh-huh.
me. SWB.
Listen, Kimba is the queen of 90s music. So,
Oh,
Kimba,
I
tell
love
me,
it.
what are your thoughts? What's your vibe?
So let me tell you, right? So I knew today that London was going to give us a wealth of information on luxury on the budget. So I said, what do I have? Everything. It's funny that he mentioned,
Okay.
you know, oversized shirts. So today I have on my oversized, shirt that I actually purchased on a closeout sale. I'm the one where I have to start in the back of the store. I go clearance,
Okay.
sale, gotta have. So today, I was inspired by our topic. I have no idea what he's going to bring, but I know I'm going to learn some things. And I
All
just
right now.
decided, why not put on my closeout shirt? And of course, because it's about luxury, I threw on, my double chain, made it look a little chunky. And I'm feeling a little sophisticated. You know how I
Ooh.
go. Classy, girl next door, sophistication. I hope you approve, London.
Oh, I do.
Yes, I'm approving of that too. It is looking very cute. I'm feeling we're all wearing our silver necklace. We're all wearing our collared shirt. And so, Kimba, yes, I'm really feeling that. Okay, come on, Miss Sophisticated Mommy, 2 weeks in a row. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So, I am doing my vibe check as casually chic. So
Mm-hmm.
casually chic for me is very similar to what you all described, where it's you can look good without doing too much. So this is also an oversized shirt. It has a little sheerness to it, so you got to pay for that, like Lyndon said. But it's not too sheer that you can't like wear it to work or put a cami underneath it to really
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you're in the best form when you're at work. I also wanted to do a chunky necklace. I feel like that is like a staple item for me. The statement necklace is something that you'll likely see me in always, whether it's this or gold or some combination of the two. And then I have on my little button earrings. I love these type of earrings and they're so hard to find, like the really good ones. They have that kind of classic look to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's my vibe where I'm feeling very relaxed. Again, I didn't know what London was going to bring, but every time I'm with London, I know he brings it. And I always have to go to my closet and find something that's going to make me stand out because anywhere London goes, everybody is coming up to
Don't
him,
just
right?
Okay.
come on. Listen, I do a little
So
one too now. We're gonna talk
just a
about it.
little one too. So he's taught me a few little things, and I too got this on a budget. I got this from H&M in the clearance section, and you can switch it up and use it so many different ways. So I
Mm-hmm.
love this top. But yeah, let's jump in, London. We are so eager to hear from you. We
Mm.
want to know, as well as our audience, what do you do to look luxurious for less?
Yeah, your sister talked about it earlier. Kimba talked about it. She said clearance, but you didn't say my next part, which is nearance. So I'm always clearance and nearance,
Okay.
and then so on and so forth, right? So I have these 5 tips that I think are life changing in terms of not only how you select the fashion, but how you stay in the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I think oftentimes when people think about style or fashion is they really think you have to break the bank, right? I love a good consignment shop, which of course I'll talk about my first tip, which is being able to mix the statement pieces that are designer with everyday staples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so
Very nice.
oh
So we're gonna start with that, Kim. But how often do you do that, where you're mixing like a designer classic piece
Mm-hmm.
with just like an everyday staple that you may get from a discount store?
So I'm the type of person where I go quality over quantity, right?
mm,
And because I'm choosing quality, I think that they're all classic pieces, and I think that's what makes me the girl next door. And then I will find something that's on trend. And so if that's an accessory or whatnot, and that brings it up. So it doesn't matter if I've had it 1 year, 5 years, 10, even 20, because I still wear things that are 20 years old, believe it or not. A lot of things I can't fit, but there are those that I can, and I fit better today than I did then. So
yeah,
I'm with you on that.
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way where I have my things that I'll splurge on and that I'll have as usually they're accessories, like they're nice heel or sneaker, like a designer bag,
Mhm.
even earrings. But then I'll likely do like a low budget or discounted version of the top and the pants, and even going thrifting itself is fun, like to find that find where you're like, oh, this is only $5. But anyway, yeah, London, I'm really loving that tip to mix and match. Everything doesn't have to be
$1 million.
designer or cost. Yeah, tell us just a little bit
And
more about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest with you. I'm gonna be authentic. This is one of my favorite spaces in my house, which is my room, and it is designed after a designer consignment shop. So let
Okay.
me tell you the trick that saves the day, right? So when you think of investing in pieces, like if you get like a luxury bag, there are some things that are designer that I absolutely will buy, and there are some things designer that I absolutely will not buy.
Okay.
My thought is always, if it's a rainy day and London loses everything the day of tomorrow, I can pawn that bag, I can pawn that ring, I can get that rent money and bring it on back. So that's what I
Okay.
always think
We
about.
talking
And let's be
values.
real, right? Let's be real. There are valuable, equitable assets that you can invest in when you think designer that set you up for success. One of my favorite luxury brands is Louis Vuitton, and I love them because they're, and not the, let me get y'all, don't do capsule collection, don't do specialty collaborations. You need authentic, monogram printed, no
Okay.
specialty. Because what they'll tell you is when you shop designer, the tip to the trade is if it's a capsule collection, it doesn't always sustain value. If you get you like a classic
Ooh.
Louis Vuitton bag, like I have a few different duffels, those collect and stay the value, and I can sell those. So if I'm ever short on rent, I haven't been, and I'm saying I will be, but if it does happen, I can pawn that bag. If I buy an expensive watch, and again, I'm short on a bill, you got to think practicality. What's the trade off? I can sell that watch. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to think of
Okay.
my designer pieces as investments for me. But
Hmm.
then also, like I said, there are things I will not buy. I'm not buying a Louis Vuitton belt. I'm not buying a Louis Vuitton loafer. These are
Mm,
things that I can collect and
okay.
preserve so that they hold value. And the same thing with my jewelry. Me and Denise talk about all the time mixing and matching high and low price jewelry because again, they're to accessorize, but
Hmm.
also it needs to be practical in what the investment is. So when you think of Hermes and people are like, why are they spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these bags? It's because the bag holds the value.
Hmm.
And to the layering piece, right? You can have on an expensive bag, but a t-shirt is a t-shirt, whether if it's from the Gap, if it's from Walmart,
Right.
or it's from Bergdorf's. A t-shirt is a t-shirt if it's
Right.
white. A pair of jeans, Levi's, so on and so forth, can be mixed up. But when you add that really high quality designer piece, it
Hmm.
enhances your looks. And if it's you, nobody, my grandma always told me, don't nobody know where you got that from, it's how you put it together. And that's something that
Right.
I've tried to stay true to.
Mm, yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I
love
love that.
that.
Okay, what's your next tip? Tell
Yeah.
me. Or
So
Kimber, did
my
you have a
No,
thought?
no, I was just saying I
No?
love that. I love that advice.
Yeah.
Like I think that's right
Definitely.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's real. Like, fashion should be fun. It should be played with, which will bring me to my second point. Layer like a pro. Now, Kimba talked about this when we first got on, how just adding an additional layer of a necklace enhances the look. And it's the same thing with clothes. Our bodies change. And the reality of it is sometimes you may want to get that baby fat in them jeans that ain't Kamora Lee Simmons and you can't get in there, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to throw away from it. You can add something extra to it.
Hmm.
You can add a layer and work towards getting in that pair of jeans later. So layering is another big essential tip, specifically when it comes to looking luxe on a budget.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Tell me a little more about the layering piece of it because I think of layering as when I'm in New York and you got to wear several layers of clothes to stay warm, but that's not what you mean. Tell me what you mean by layering. Give me
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
more.
yeah, I think jewelry is a perfect example of that. When I wear rings, normally, I'm a little less than normal right now, but I normally add 2 to 3 different brands. Even with bigger pieces, I try to
Oh,
stack under. Jewelry is a really great way to accessorize and to keep it simple. Now, if you go into the hood, let's be honest, you don't want to wear all the jewelry, you don't want to do all the things, but it just is enhancing the look that you have. Even when you think of Nene Leakes as an example, I'm gonna use somebody we all know.
okay.
Literally, there was a meme on Instagram, and it was saying the only thing Nene ever did was she'd have on a basic shirt, basic pair of pants, and she'd always add a blazer.
Hmm.
So just by adding that one specific piece, you're changing the dynamic of
Hmm.
one, what the outfit looks like, and you can easily go from day to night just by adding a jacket or taking it off. So when I'm saying layering, I'm thinking
Yes.
strategic placement of the garment and or the accessory to really enhance the look that you already have together. It's a normal outfit, but then I add a bandana to it, and wow, I've layered it and I've changed it now to be a whole conceptual look for the 90s.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm the same. When it comes to wearing bracelets, I'll wear different kinds. I'll wear different colors,
Mm,
and I'll put them all together. Or, like you said, if you're stacking jewelry on vacation, for me, less is more. Especially if you're going out of the
Mm,
country, less is more. Because a lot
mhm.
of times, Americans, we get caught up in how we look and we don't know how
right.
inviting that is. So why attract all of that attention and somebody think you got more money on you than you do, or
Then
you
you
actually
got
have what
right.
they thought you did and they come after you, So don't
Right.
be naive. Less is more when you're actually on vacation.
Yeah, read the room. Like, that's the thing about layering. Read the room and seeing what's appropriate for those specific scenarios and situations that you're placed in. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm the girly in the room who's the novice, right? Who's like, I don't know what to do. And we probably have audience members or even some of our viewers who are thinking, well, how do I layer? Like, what's the first step in layering? I heard you say clothing, like throwing on a blazer. But if I wanted to, for instance, have a really iconic look like with the rings, give me one tip that I can try, or I can strive for to achieve that look.
I would say be bold. You have to find out what works for you, right? Like I naturally, and my grandma used to say, it's so gaudy sometimes with all the rings. But for me, I feel the most comfortable when I'm putting on multiple accessories. Like again, like I'm not extra. Well, I am extra actually. I was gonna say I'm not extra in a lot of ways. Not gonna lie there. But for me, jewelry tells the stories, right? Like being able to put on a specific ring, I can tell you where I got the ring from, the story behind the ring, and it also invites conversation, which I think when you talk about fashion, there's always such a stigma of like, oh, I have to spend this much money, but we don't have the conversation around the history of the pieces. And it's an investment, right? So when you say to me, where do I start? You start at what feels good to you. If your out of comfort zone is you wear a diamond stud and now you're wearing hoop earrings, and you know what they say about the bigger the hoop. I don't know if it's true, but that's what they say. You have, and you take, that's for another podcast and another show. Well, look,
We're going to
but
get back for that one.
listen. But you start experimenting with what feels good to you. If you normally wear a stud, and you want to try a hoop. Do it at your own pace. There's no right or wrong in terms of what accessories work and what don't. Mix metals. Have fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that because it does start with having, first of all, the interest and then the confidence to want to do it because it does attract attention, right? And so you need to be comfortable with whatever, even if it's just something simple as now you're wearing hoops, somebody in your life is going to be like, okay, I see you, and I love the idea of it being a conversation starter.
Yes.
So when you go into a room, you're not only expressing your style, but you're inviting conversation into your space.
For sure.
Great.
Oh,
For sure.
very Oprah Winfrey of you.
This is good. This is good. We got two of them. You have another one
so
for
tell
us?
us. Yeah.
Yes, and the next one is accessories or anchors. So again, based on our conversation we've had, of course, accessories continue to come up. But anytime that I'm really putting an outfit together, I think the accessories always add that extra value to them because the outfit I could be unsure about, but it could be an all black outfit, and then I add some gold, like a gold chain, a gold earring, and it just adds that much more value to the outfit. Because again, the thing about it is, you can be as simple as you want to, but for me, I feel like a man should always have a gold watch. That's just something that my grandpa told me, and I've always adopted it. But just having accessories that anchor you, one, to your outfit, but then two, to your lineage, to your heritage. Accessories tell such a vivid story without having to speak, and they oftentimes invoke thought before you even have the conversation. So I'm always going to be a big fan of accessories. Depending on where I go, I try to tone down a little bit. I never try to go nowhere where I'm like overly exposed. But again, people see the accessories and they're like, oh my gosh, And I typically wear all the rings and all the Kemba, but this for you, I did a little less. But
Take it out of the country.
no, I get it.
I
But
love
that
this
is a
one.
part to it.
But I have
Yeah,
a
so I'm
question
big on
because we're
accessories.
on accessories
Yeah.
and we're talking about, thrifting and budgets and stuff. How does one choose the right thrift store or consignment store to actually find the right pieces? I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but it just
No, I
kind
think that's
of,
a great question. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not a Goodwill's person, no shade to Goodwill, but I'm in your hood thrift store. I'm looking for the valuable, eclectic pieces that you don't see everywhere. Family Thrift, that's a plug. They should pay me for that. That's one of my favorite thrift stores, going through the display cases and seeing what pieces are there. And also, interestingly enough, you can find really valuable pieces at consignment shops that people have like discarded, and they don't even know most of the time what it is. I found a Tom Ford blazer one time,
wow.
retails for like $500 to $600. I paid $399 for the blazer. It was official Tom Ford. I got it cleaned at a cleaner, and then I made it new again. But in looking for accessories, I think that's the thrill of it, right? It's like going to thrift stores, seeing what selection they have to offer, and then also seeing what you can offer to that accessory. So
Right.
being vigilant and looking at all the different places. And also too, I want to talk to the point about like gender, and you see like a woman's necklace, or you see a men's watch, and you're like, dang, I feel like that's for a woman or that's for a man. An accessory is an accessory. It's how you style it. The character that you provide to the accessory allows it to come alive again, right? So I'm really big on mixing not only just like men jewelry, but also women's jewelry. If I like something and a watch sits a specific kind of way, because like Kemba said earlier, I also do like to stack jewelry, specifically when it comes to bracelets, specifically when it comes to watches. So women's jewelry is actually more stackable than men's jewelry a variety of the time because of the shaping and the size of it. So you can take little nicks and knacks, tricks of that. Even Ross. Now, when you talk about it, it ain't necessarily a consignment shop, but
Right.
let's talk about it. Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, these are all
Right.
different places that you can go to still get that value for your buck and
Mm-hmm.
make it look expensive, because most of those times they have the designer glasses or they have the designer jewelry at a fraction of the price, and it's the real deal. Holyfield.
Right. My
I
grandmother,
and
our grandmother, was big on what she called antiques. And she would watch these antique
Mm,
shows all day long.
Mhm.
And she had some of everything in her house, and everything was antique. Now, I don't know if it was or it wasn't. She said it was, so I'm going to go with what it was, right? But
we
she
go give
loved
Granny
a
that one.
good ring. And
Oh, I love it.
you every time you would go over there, Nicola, if you paid close attention, Granny
Mhm.
always had on a different ring. Sometimes she had on several
Oh,
rings.
yes,
And
I
they
do
had
know
different
that.
stones to them, and they weren't diamonds,
Mhm.
but if they were birthstones, if they were rubies, if they were jade, she always had something on. And you know what she did? She twirled her finger. I would just watch her twirling those rings, and so
Oh,
that's what comes to mind as you specifically talk about the rings and different things like that. It made me feel my granny. So thank you for that.
oh, that makes me so
Rest in
happy. I
peace.
love that. I
Yes.
love that.
And I have a thought too about the jewelry piece of it, because again, I'm gonna play the novice for those viewers who aren't as fashionably inclined, let's say. And there's usually this discussion about the faux pas of mixing metals, but you have been someone who's mixed metals and have made it look good. I'm not sure where that faux pas came from or why people buy into it, but you totally disregard that. So tell me why that is. Why is it okay to mix metals?
That's such a good story. And I was also for a very long time the person that I only wore gold because I have beautiful chocolate brown skin. And I feel like there's something so angelic about brown skin and gold because of the lineage of us as African American
Mm-hmm.
people. And that was my priority for wearing gold for a very long time. But then also, some outfits, some shades look better with silver. And I think you have to, one, give yourself access and opportunity to mix and match depending on what the outfit is, but then also how you feel, right? Like, I think even if you do plastics, we talk about metals because I feel like metals oftentimes maintain value for a longer period of time, and that's where that metal thing came from. But people didn't want to mix because if you had gold, it's the old story. If you have gold, you have money. Gold has always been a valuable resource. Silver has always been the less than of the two. And that's not just me saying it from a personal opinion, but historically, that's where that came from. So if you had gold on, royalty wore gold. I don't know too many stories where the royal people wore silver and they were so happy to wear silver. That just wasn't a thing. So for me, when I bought my first piece of like really good jewelry and growing up in the South, my grandpa was saying, if you can't get a Cadillac, you own a gold watch, which now I have both. God is good. But I remember him telling me that specifically, and that's sticking with me. So I think the faux pas of you can't mix things, it's like you can't mix designer, you can mix whatever you want to mix
Right.
because one, nobody can tell you what you can or can't do specifically when it's coming out of your pocket. Now, you may not do that because you don't want to do it, but if I want to wear gold and silver, I absolutely have that opportunity. But again, it's a retraining of thought. I prefer gold to silver, but as you can see today,
Okay.
majority of the jewelry that I'm wearing is silver, and I think that
Yes.
there is some fun in being able to play with jewelry because again, it's an accessory, right? You're supposed to accessorize.
Mhm.
Okay, well then let's get into 4 and 5.
Yes.
What you got for us?
Oh my gosh, so it kind of goes with the gold and the silver, but it's all about color and pattern and being able to play with color and pattern and mixing all of the things to create a full combined look, which is so fun. I hate color. Denise will tell you this. I do not wear the colors at all. Like, I'm very much so black and white, but I do. The brand Mingle and Muse is very colorful, Kimba, so I have to embrace the color. And I think on brown skin, and I gotta say brown skin because I'm a brown skin guy, it looks so beautiful and it looks so vibrant. But definitely playing with patterns and prints is such a fun thing that sometimes we underestimate. But I encourage everybody,
Yeah.
even myself, right? Challenging yourself outside of the norm and your comfortability in order to really get in front of it and play with color blocking.
Mhm. Hmm.
Ooh,
I
the
like that
color
idea. I like
blocking.
the pop of color because, like
Right.
you, a lot of
Mhm.
times I'm not always just super bold with color. In more recent years, I've kind of put myself in that realm. But my go-to again is classic because I like to keep things for a long time. So when I accessorize, be it actually an accessory, a scarf, a belt or anything like that, or like you're saying, if I'm doing with the color block, I might throw a different shirt on that has that pop of color or something that, I can continue to just wear. Because when it's too bold and too noticeable, I mean, are you gonna get the same compliments from the same people if you're around the same people? They're gonna start saying, "Oh, she always wear that." I told her she was cute and she gonna take it
Routine.
off.
You know, you brought up such a good point of like we're in this fast fashion space right now,
Hmm.
right? And when Kimba talks about like somebody like, oh, you always wear that, or didn't you just wear that? But when we talk about going to the thrift stores where you're now recycling someone else's,
Hmm.
products or something that they've had, talk to people who just briefly who may have some reservation about going to the thrift store and wearing somebody else's
Right.
clothing. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh my gosh, this is a look. You're bringing me home, and my aunt. I'm gonna have to share this with her, and I'm writing a book about this too. That's a little plug. I grew up on Sunday mornings. My grandmother would let us all put into a hat different places that we wanted to go, and for the longest time, mine would be the Houston Galleria because I love to people watch. It allowed me to understand how clothes made people feel. And when I think about clothing from a thrift store, as a younger me, I was like, I don't want to wear nobody else's clothes. Like, that is not hot. Like, if they didn't wear it and they gave it up, I don't need to step back into it. But clothing is also a time capsule, and it's a way for us to hold on to things that were and reinvent them. So as I got older, one of the first businesses that I ever did was really a online thrift store, and this was before like the apps were a thing. And what I would do is I would go and find what clothes were in style or similar to the styles that were in at that particular time. I would get them with a real hot model and I would rebrand them and resell them.
Hmm.
And so I'm saying all that to say that one, it leads me to my fifth point, which is tailoring your thrift. Just because somebody else wore it, they will not, excuse me, wear it in the same way that you've worn it.
Right.
And guess what? With a good tailor, a lot of the outfits that I've been featured on magazines with, they're on TV. They have been things that we have upcycled from other places, right? And they have been things that may have been overlooked. Even thinking about the Cowboy Carter outfit, the cheetah outfit that I wore,
Mm-hmm.
literally, that was a bed sheet that we found. That was some cheetah pants from
Ooh.
somebody mama that she gave up and a variety of other different things. And what I did with the designers, I said, yo, I really want to create this concept of a cowboy, but I want to do it with print. And I'm not trying to spend $1 million because at this point,
Hmm.
I'm traveling every other week. And I'm not spending that. It's not
Hmm.
realistic for me. So we did, I think, a 20, Jen, don't kill me, 25 to maybe $40 budget. And she was like, give me all these materials, get them secondhand, and we're going to cut them up. We're going to get them fit on your body. And then the outfit I think went viral at one point. People were talking about it, and they liked it better than the other outfit that I paid way more money for. But you have to tailor your thrift to match you, and just because it's
Right.
old for somebody else, it can be brand new for you. You have the right to get good tailors, to fix the fit of it, and create something new. Like a thrift is really your opportunity to take something secondhand and make it a first-hand vision. So I'm always going to tell people, you may thrift it, but again, it's how you rock it. If you wear it with
Right.
confidence, if you adding your chains, adding your layers, adding your sauce to it, naturally it's going to be exuberant, and naturally you're going to attract people to it. If you just go get a $5 pair of jeans and you just expect us to do magic for you, you got to add the personality, baby. You have to add
Right.
the spark, because if you don't, you're going to get what you paid for. But me and mine and my tailor, we're gonna make it something new. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna love it. And if I do choose never to wear it again, I got this really cool idea for 40. I'm gonna do like a whole walking museum of things. But I can archive it, or if my nephew one day decides he wants like some crazy outfit that I've worn, I can pull the outfit and give it to him, you know?
Okay.
Right,
And I think, yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what comes to mind for that too is that when people are thrifting, definitely look at the hot spots of the clothes, right? And I don't think that thrift stores typically, hang up any clothing that has been too worn.
Hmm.
But for
No.
those of people who are like, well, I don't know, I don't want to wear somebody's
They
yellow
wash it, it's
stain pits,
processed.
and all of that. No, typically with the thrift store, depending on where you go, of course, they are gently used.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the gently used clothing is something you wash it and you can throw it on.
And I'm gonna add to this point too, because I think this is
Yeah.
something that's so important to note. And I did forget to say this. Like the clothes, for them to intake the clothes, they have a washing process, and then before my body even touches the clothes, we
Mhm.
wash the clothes. Okay, because I'm from
Right.
the South. I grew up in Houston, Texas. There's a process. I don't just buy the clothes and I'm wearing it out. There's a refinement process between the time that I buy the clothes and then everybody sees the clothes.
Right. And I like how you said you thrift with a purpose, because you may not wear it that same way. You may want it, like you said, for the other outfit, just to kind of cut it up. So it's sometimes it's about the material, and then if it's the
Mm.
brand, particularly a luxury brand, then that that's again of a better quality. So why wouldn't you want to use it? London, you made me want to go thrifting. Let me
I mean,
find
well,
out
let's
that
go.
there's some
Let me
good
know. I'm gonna
places
fly out
around
there.
here.
Come on, list of recommendations. Let's get into
Okay.
it.
Yeah, London he's coordinated and also hosted thrifting events, and that was the first event that I went to. That was my first time really thrifting, was with him.
Okay.
And it was a great way to bring people together. Like everybody brings a gently used item.
Hmm.
And is it a swap? What is it called, London?
Yeah, it's a swap. It was a partnership with Rag Junkie. And essentially, what they do is they do a community clothing swap where you come and you learn about fashion. We talk about technique. And then you bring 3 or 4 pieces. And those same 3 or 4 pieces that you bring, you can take 3 or 4 pieces. So it's all about community involvement. And clothing is community. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say I'm used to giving. I'm just not used to going to shop. But in that
Right.
same vein, I've had dresses that I haven't worn for a long time, and every year, particularly around prom season, there's something on the news or whatnot saying, "Hey, if you have gently worn, like dresses or things that some of these young girls can actually use as prom wear, donate it." And the same with like work clothes, So I'm used
Yeah.
to doing that, but I'm starting to feel a little excited about maybe going in and seeing what a girl can
Look, bop,
find.
bop.
And
Right.
that's what I love about the swap idea. So
Hmm.
get some of your friends together, get some girlfriends together, get some friends together, you guys, and everybody bring 2 or 3 gently used items, something that you can't wear anymore, perhaps,
Hmm.
something that you've outworn. You were like, I've worn this so many times, I can't take another picture in this thing. Get your friends together, you guys have a little swap party.
Yes.
And now pretty much you go around, tell us how that
Yeah.
could work, London.
And if you have, and I'll say this too, I have some of the most stylish friends in the world. And when they get ready to get rid of something, I am on the phone, I'm on the plane, like I'm trying to get to their things because if you're a stylish, even if you're not, I'm not going to say that if you're a stylish person. Everybody always has at least one item that I
Hmm.
always say is exemplary for them and that they love. What I would encourage everybody to do is literally how people do vision board parties. Maybe you do your little vision board party with a little Pinot, and then you say, hey, bring you 3 bags, or bring 3 shoes, or bring 3 rings, a
Hmm.
number of 3. And then let's trade and let's talk about it because one, what you'll find is that it opens up the opportunity for you to formulate community, but
Hmm.
then also as you're trading the pieces, you're giving them purpose because, one thing that we talk about, plug this, sustainable fashion is a real thing.
Yes.
And it's interesting because I was watching a documentary because I'm a nerd a little bit. And they were talking about this necklace, this pearl necklace that Elizabeth Taylor had, but then it had a rich history and that it's been around since like the 17th century. And so what that goes, or what I took from that rather, is jewelry lasts forever.
Hmm.
A good piece lasts forever. So you also have the opportunity to pass these pieces on. But wouldn't it be cool for you to have that conversation with your friends if you're going to get rid of something? If you're already getting rid of it, why not trade for something of value for you at this moment in this moment in time? So
Yes.
I
Yes.
just encourage people use it as communal pieces for sure.
For sure.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us, Lyndon. Kimba, do you have a final question?
What I heard you say multiple times is you referred back to your grandmother and your grandfather and the
Hmm.
things that they taught you. If it
Hmm.
was about, the watches or being prepared, in your Sunday best. If you could go back in time and just tell your younger self something, because I'm sure that you weren't into it like you are now, even when they were giving you that advice. But if you could tell your
Right.
younger self something today, regarding fashion and all of this, what would you tell yourself, or what type of advice would you give?
Yeah. If they're not where you are, let them catch up. And that is the advice that I give to anybody in any specific space of what you're doing in your life. Because the thing about it is, my grandma always told me your job is not to slow up for nobody. If they don't get what you're doing and how you're doing it, let them catch up. I have always viewed emotions, thoughts, environmental pieces of myself to be the clothes, and the world is the runway. And so in order for me to get to that runway show to be the best version of myself, I have to let people catch up. I can't slow down because you don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand the way that I'm dressing. It's not for you to understand. I got something called a God connection. That's the only person that I'm trying to please, and I got me. So what I'll tell you is, don't slow down for nobody. If anything, you speed up, baby, and you know what your vision is, and let them catch up to you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
And that's
you
with
better say
fashion,
it.
that's life.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. I think that that was
Thank you.
really awesome. And I think as a that was our final thought. But if folks need to catch up with you, London, tell them how to find you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, you can find me at my personal Instagram at Lundo, Londo, Law, Law, Lundo Law. And then for Mingle and Muse, my newest venture, which I'm super, super excited about, that I co-founded. I'm trying to figure out how to break that down. I co-founded with my good friend Nigel. It's going to be mingle.and.muse on Instagram, and the website is www.mingleandmuse.net, and it is .net because we're all about networking. Boom.
And on that note, keep it on the up and up.